God damn it. Fuck.
We were right. I think I was somewhat of a skeptic, but I was still of the opinion that the WWE had no choice whatsoever but to change up the main event. Randy Orton versus Batista was not going to work unless the WWE wanted the fans to light the Superdome on fire. Daniel Bryan's Occupy Raw segment on Raw was reality. It was real. They made a storyline out of what actually happened. This was not the plan all along. The plan all along, I'm 100% convinced, was to have Batista come back, win the Royal Rumble, and win the title at WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan would have his much-awaited moment coming up later on this year. The horrible botching of the Royal Rumble, the complete ignoring of the fans booing the shit out of Batista, a guy they're trying to make a babyface, the fans changed it. They fucking did it. I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome that the WWE finally listened. I was one of the skeptics on the match. I said last week in my commentary, how am I supposed to believe as a fan that Daniel Bryan can not only A, beat Triple H, but beat Triple H and then go into the main event and beat two other megastars? That's like putting over Bryan huge. I didn't think that the WWE, I could see them having him win over some big megastar. I can see that. But having three guys lay down for little tiny Daniel Bryan, it almost seemed like something WWE would never do. But they might actually do it. And you know what? For once, predictability is a good thing. Is anybody bitching about this? What? You are? Shut the fuck up. Wouldn't you prefer the predictability of this year over the predictability of last year? After all this whining and complaining and bitching about the WWE completely ignoring the fans, and pissing them off and disappointing them and trolling them on purpose by fucking over Daniel Bryan every single chance they get, infuriating the WWE haters and making their asshole more sore than it would be if they had anal with the Big Show. You know what I think it is? These assholes like to be pissed off. They prefer it. They like it when the WWE disappoints them because it gives them a reason to go online and fucking bitch about it. And for once, the WWE finally listens to the fans and realizes that the fans are flat out refusing to go along with the plans that the WWE is setting in motion for WrestleMania, and they want things changed. I mean, top stars in the company are even fucking walking out because they're frustrated. The WWE actually did what was right. Now, I do understand we have a long way to go. I'm sure the critics and the people that are still going to shit on this situation are going to insist that the WWE is still going to fuck over the fans. And Daniel Bryan hasn't won anything yet because Triple H could very well bury him at WrestleMania and Daniel Bryan doesn't get into the main event at all. I can completely see that argument. That's a definite possibility, but maybe not at WrestleMania because WrestleManias have been predictable lately. And with what happened with Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam and everything that's transpired since then, this has been building and building and building for Daniel Bryan's big moment. There's no reason to fuck him over again and wait until a later time now. This is going to be it. It's kind of like a 3 stages of hell match. You know, when they have those, you know, the first match is a regular match, the second match is a street fight, the third match is a cage match. You always get to that third stage. Just the very name of the match and the stipulation alone spoils the ending. I don't think you add a stipulation like this to a match this big just to have the stipulation not come true and the fans be pissed off anyway. I do think this is going a little bit to the extreme. This is Daniel Bryan we're talking about here. He's a $190. He's going to go into the ring and beat a guy that's been wrestling Taker and Brock Lesnar at recent WrestleManias, and he's going to go in there and beat him. I'm fine with that. Triple H will put people over. Do you guys not remember? He put over Jeff Hardy, for fuck's sake. Daniel Bryan's a lot better than Jeff Hardy, and he's not strung out on fucking drugs. So don't act like it's out of the question that Triple H won't put anybody over. That's your stupid fucking bias towards Triple H, and you're a fucking idiot, and you don't know what you're talking about. Now, if we get to WrestleMania and they have that Daniel Bryan match and Triple H squashes him and pedigrees him, hits him with a sledgehammer and pins him in 5 minutes, then I will agree with you on Triple H. But until then, shut your mouth. And I'm sure there's also the other argument that says, well, hey, let's say Daniel Bryan beats Triple H. Who's to say he's going to win the main event? Batista could still win it. You're right, he could. I don't think he will. I think the WWE is not going to jerk around the fans for the last time. I think if they jerked around the fans one more time, the fans would fucking lose their mind. I mean, I'm pretty cool and chill, and really at the end of the day, I never give a fuck what the WWE does, and I'm never disappointed, and I can just turn it on and off whenever I want. I don't take it nearly as seriously as some of you, but even I was reaching my breaking point with the WWE a month ago or so. I did a commentary just fucking ripping them, spent 30 minutes telling them how stupid they were. Even I was pissed off at the sheer fucking balls of the WWE WWE to just flat out pretend that Batista is a babyface and that's what he is no matter what the fans are doing. And the really funny thing is, with this new stipulation added to the match, it makes WrestleMania like 10 times more interesting. This is essentially the same card we've known about for a couple of months. And also, like I said recently, when Batista finally turned heel, it's like I now like him 10 times better. I don't hate Batista as bad as I did 3 weeks ago because the WWE is now making him a heel, making him who he is, and when the fans boo him, he gets on the mic and tells them to fuck off. That's what I want Batista to do. I prefer Batista that way. And I'm going to tell you this about Batista. For Daniel Bryan fans, myself, everybody else that have wanted the WWE to put Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania 30, and there's a very good chance it's now going to happen, I do want everybody to understand that, guess what? You're going to get Batista as the WWE champion. It's going to happen. So if we're about to get Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30, I don't want to hear anybody complaining when Batista beats him for it a couple of pay-per-views later, because that's what's going to happen. This is only the tip of the iceberg of the feud between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton and Batista, and I can see an alliance already growing between Batista and Randy Orton, especially if they both walk out of WrestleMania 30 as losers. I can easily see Triple H, gathering them together and saying, myself, the two of you, and maybe even Brock Lesnar, who is owed a title shot in the future, are all going to gang up and do everything they can to take that title off of Daniel Bryan, and it will happen. Batista came back to a big-time storyline and big-time money, and he is going to be in the picture, and he is going to be in the title picture, and now that he is a heel, he makes a great opponent for Daniel Bryan in the future. And think about it, if Daniel Bryan does beat Triple H at WrestleMania 30 and then goes on to win the title, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H is so pissed off that says, you know what, I want a title shot. It's my ring, it's my company, and that's my fucking belt, and I'll get in the ring and take it off of you myself if I have to. So I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H even gets a title shot. So you'd think that Daniel Bryan is just going to be immediately a lame duck. Triple H is going to be so pissed off and so hell-bent on taking that title off of him, it's almost going to be like unbeatable odds. But you know what? Daniel Bryan actually has to win the WWE title first before we start talking about how long his reign is going to be, so we can discuss that in the future. But in the meantime, I am for one thrilled, and it makes WrestleMania far more enjoyable. And CM who? Nice job, WWE. Way to go. They brilliantly played the Raw crowd last week in Chicago. You would think they could have given them this segment last week. I think that's what everybody wanted. Imagine if that was the final segment, in the main event. The crowd would have gone nuts, but they disappointed the crowd after giving them a great show, making them think all night long that CM Punk was going to be there and show up, disappoint him at the very end, and then get the fuck out of there. And I, for one, am just amazed. I guess it doesn't matter, how we get to the final destination as long as we get there. The WWE definitely took the fucking long way. They took the scenic route. To me, it would have made much more sense to have Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble. That's what the fans that night wanted. That's what the fans at home wanted. We all wanted to see that, and they completely fucking screwed up and, put all the heat on poor little Rey Mysterio. I've never seen a crowd more pissed off. They insisted on giving their returning babyface that everybody hated the big moment at the Royal Rumble. But the potential now for WrestleMania 30 has got me very excited. As far as what else happened on Raw, the WWE actually teased a couple of announcements. They said something about the Undertaker having an announcement, but he came out there and had a promo with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was awesome as usual, and he threw out some really cool stats about WrestleMania, stuff that you don't think about, how a lot of these big-time WWE superstars, have losing records at WrestleMania or have never won more than 2 or 3 in a row. And really putting into perspective how meaningful the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania is. The mic work alone was fantastic. The segment itself wasn't that meaningful. All Paul Heyman said was that Brock Lesnar is going to beat the Undertaker, and all the Undertaker said was that he was going to beat Brock Lesnar. I don't know what the big announcement was. It's not like any challenge was answered. The contract was already signed. This match is happening, so I don't even know what the announcement was supposed to be, but it's always good to see the Undertaker, and it's always nice to hear Paul Heyman on the mic. And the one other thing of significance is that the WWE also teased an announcement by Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan came out and opened the show and made an announcement that I actually like. They're going to do a battle royal, or as I said on Twitter, give the shitty part of the roster something to do with Mania royal. But I like the idea. It's an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. 30 men, and the winner, I don't know what the winner gets. I would actually like to see them give a trophy like they used to in the old days. Remember WrestleMania 4? Bad News Brown got the big trophy and then Bret Hart smashed it to shit. So I'm not completely against the idea as long as the WWE WWE puts some time into it. One thing I don't like about pay-per-view battle royals, guys get thrown out so fast, they're so rushed. If WWE actually treats this like a match, it doesn't have to be an hour long or anything, but don't make a 30-man battle royal 11 minutes long. That's fucking retarded. I'm sure they will be announcing participants like crazy for this thing, but we can pretty much look at the roster and guess ourselves who's going to be in it. They already announced Ryback and Big E Langston, which I don't like. He's the Intercontinental Champion, and I would not like to see him in this battle royal. And one of my listeners actually pointed out to me that they could possibly do an Intercontinental title match still with the Real Americans, and I would actually love to see it. That's a great point. If Big E Langston is going to be in the battle royal, what I would like to see happen is sometime between now and WrestleMania on Raw, I would like to see Jack Swagger beat Big E Langston for the Intercontinental title. They can continue this bickering storyline with Cesaro and Swagger. They're trying to one-up each other, and they're not getting along. Finally, Swagger gets in the ring and gets the title. He's full of confidence, and now he thinks he's better than Cesaro. He's got a belt, not him. Finally leads to the eventual split. They wrestle at WrestleMania, and Cesaro beats Swagger for the title. I would love to see that scenario. I'd be all for it. But Big E Langston, an Intercontinental Champion that I actually like, this Battle Royal, although I like the Battle Royal as well, is not a place for Big E. Intercontinental title needs to be defended at WrestleMania. I'll be a little disappointed if it's not. But back to Hogan's announcement, when he's in the ring talking about the Battle Royal, John Cena comes out to join him. And when they were out there, I said to myself, man, I hope the Wyatts come out. Man, I hope the Wyatts come out. And guess what? The Wyatts came out. There you go, Hogan. Welcome to the big leagues now. You ain't in TNA anymore. You're about to get ass raped. So the Wyatts came out to the ring, which made for a great moment. The only thing I didn't like about the segment is that, the Wyatts are so badass. Bray is on a tear. He's beating everybody. The Wyatt family has defeated the Shield. You mean to tell me Cena and Hogan are going to back them off? Now, I know why they didn't get physical, because I don't think Hogan can get physical. He's really not allowed. But still, it's hard for me to believe that the Wyatt family would be scared at all of two men, one of them being a guy that can't even walk, move, or do anything. But hey, at least it's not Sting and Hogan beating the shit out of the entire faction of the Aces and Eights, right? So it wasn't that unrealistic. But still, I think the Wyatts could have taken Cena and Hogan if they wanted to. And I'm excited for the John Cena-Bray Wyatt match. Hey, all you Cena haters, guess what? With the Undertaker streak staying intact and Daniel Bryan most likely not only getting a win against Triple H, but also winning the World Heavyweight title in the main event, if those two things happen, I can guarantee you John Cena will lose at WrestleMania. You gotta have a heel win somewhere, and Bray Wyatt, they're trying to make him, they're trying to build him. He's already defeated Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. He's pinned Roman Reigns. He's beaten the shit out of Cena a couple of times. I can completely see Bray Wyatt getting another big victory at WrestleMania against John Cena. So that means not only is John Cena not in the main event, he's gonna lose. I mean, really, seriously, think about that. All of those arguments, Cena holds everybody back. Nobody else can get over with Cena there. He can't wrestle. He's a cancer of the wrestling business. He's everything that's wrong with wrestling. He's on top too much. He's shoved down our throats. Every stupid, asinine, uninformed, ignorant thing you've ever said about John Cena, how in the world does that possibly apply for WrestleMania 30? And we've still got 3 or 4 more weeks of predicting and speculating of how these matches could go, but if a lot of these matches go the way we think they're going to go, this could turn out to be one of the most satisfying WrestleManias for the true wrestling fan or the hater or the Cena haters or the Daniel Bryan lovers. This could be a WrestleMania that launches the future. I would love to see an NXT guy win that Battle Royal. So I'll agree that we have a long way to go and a lot could change and we can't even rule out some swerves or something like that, but as it looks right now, anybody who has had a problem with the WWE, that includes myself, any of you, Mick Foley, we at least have to be happy with what they've done now. They have rectified a disastrous situation and once again made their biggest show of the year worth watching, because 3 weeks ago, I didn't give a shit about WrestleMania 30. Quickly, before I get out of here, I do want to acknowledge the Hall of Fame. I did not mention Paul Bearer last week. I really purposely did that because we knew he was going to go into the Hall of Fame. I wasn't surprised that he was announced, and I figured we have plenty of time to talk about him. And I am glad that it's now official, and he is going to be going into the Hall of Fame. As far as who's going to induct him, to me, it's only one logical guy, The Undertaker. But The Undertaker doesn't do Hall of Fames. He's never even been seen on camera at one of these things. So it's going to be, I'm curious if he's going to put that aside for his manager. I hope that he does. Speaking of guys that have to induct somebody else, the Ultimate Warrior has announced that of all people, Linda McMahon is going to induct him. You know what that tells me? Nobody fucking likes the Ultimate Warrior and nobody wants to induct him. Hulk Hogan is there, for fuck's sake. WrestleMania 6, 70,000 people. Hogan, Warrior. Hogan puts Warrior over. Why have anybody else other than Hulk Hogan induct the Ultimate Warrior? I'll tell you why. Too much ego, bitter feelings, and bullshit. That's why. by. These guys are children, and it's kind of annoying to me. You know, Linda McMahon, I'm sure, had a relationship with the Ultimate Warrior. You know, the McMahons are always close with their champions, especially back then. Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, you know, they all had keys to the store. You know, they have to be close with the family that owns the company in order to be who they are. And I have no doubt that perhaps back in the day, Jim Hellwig and Linda McMahon were fond of one another and got along and liked each other, and, you know, maybe Linda McMahon is a perfect person to induct him, but to me it just seems a little weird. So keep an eye out this week. I'll most likely be back with a short video discussing some wrestling news and possibly even whatever transpires on SmackDown and how things are shaping up for what is now a very exciting looking WrestleMania 30. I will talk to you in a couple of days. Peace.